right. I think this is the reason that most everybody is here, is to find out what the rules are for the 1099K and payment processors. So we all know that 1099Ks are for payment processors, which include credit and debit, stored value cards such as gift cards and other payment cards. Payment apps or online marketplaces, also called third-party settlement organizations. What types of payments are considered, credit or debit cards? It's anything that goes through a third-party settlement organization. It can be a little confusing on what gets included and what doesn't get included. I've got another slide that talks about all of that stuff. And 1099Ks are created by payment card companies, payment apps, and other online marketplaces. Anyone who receives payment on your behalf for a fee then sends you money. That's who creates that. So, I mean, that is from the recipient point of view, but as the people who create 1099s for our clients, we need to understand what the recipient gets as far as the 1099K, because the last thing that we want to do is include any payments on a 1099 NEC that are also included on a 1099K. I've got a story for that coming up. The IRS does not have any of the 2024 rules for the 1099Ks on their website. I looked right before I presented over this weekend, and the IRS website still had the 2023 requirements of $20,000 and 200 transactions. However, their timeline that they had published previously stated that the thresholds would be gross payments exceeding $5,000 in any number of transactions. A lot of third-party payment softwares will send well below the minimum threshold. I know we've gotten them for, $2,000 or $3,000 before from some of our third-party payment processors. I have a yes, no thought process on, when to include or when to exclude payments from a 1099. And I will be sending that out to everybody on my newsletter. If you don't get that, then just send us an email at team@payrollrestoration.com, and I will make sure that you get that thought process there. How do we know what payments we have to exclude? For years, it was always credit and debit card payments. Those were really easy to tell because they were not a check. But now they're getting a little bit harder to know for sure what's a credit or a debit card payment, because sometimes ACHs look like debit card payments on the bank statement. PayPal, but not if it's a PayPal friends and family account. Venmo business, not personal. Cash App is another one that I think Cash App, somebody can correct me if I'm wrong on my thought on this, but if Cash App is personal, it would not be included on the 1099K, but only if there's a business Cash App. Some ACH payments might be run through payment rails where the sender puts it on their 1099K. I use Ignition, and Ignition recipients get ACH on their 1099K. I think Stripe does too. A lot of times, without going and looking to see how your recipient receive their money, it's going to be almost impossible to know if it's going to be included on a 1099K, because the only way to know that Ignition puts ACH on their 1099K is by looking at their FAQs and going to their website. I Googled, does Ignition put ACH on 1099K? And I came up with a really good article that they had shared saying that they do.